his words was, "I'm back on LAN and I'm cooking people." I mean, he beat Maestro 7-1. He's got a right to say that in the nicest way.
Yeah, definitely. I remember some Instagram posts like a year ago, get me back competing in LAN and everything, and he's obviously delivering. He's just playing massive today, not only in the match against Maestro, but in the first round as well. So I just want to see what happens, because I kind of didn't understand the Ronaldinho's pick, and against Maestro, I think it was the MVP of the game, practically. So let's see what happens.
I was speaking to him as well before the game in general. He was sort of just sitting on his own in the players' area. If you've been down to the players' area here, for the players that might be watching, there's groups of players, there's teammates, there's family members. I think there was 2 players. I think one was Lucas, who got knocked out of the tournament, the other one was Tekkz in the players' area. No one else was in the players' area. He was just sitting by his console, just waiting for this game.
Yeah.
Getting away from sort of any sort of distraction. He was in the zone completely as he looks to build up his first chance here. Pele back to goal, building nice little La Croqueta, defended by Kimpembe in the end. He's really in the zone for this one, and he knows how close he is to booking that ticket to the World Cup.
Yeah, he's just 1 match away. But I think Feldman obviously defended that well. But I think what happened in the game against Maestro, you cannot let Tekkz think inside the box. So every time he has the ball with Mahrez, with Ronaldinho, with anyone inside the box, you just gotta pressure him, because if you let him think enough, he's gonna destroy you.
Well, pause came in at the start of the game, Gravis. So what do you think the reasoning could be for that? He's also going to be lucky to get the pause when the ball finally goes out of play. That might be for quite some time, but it's a common thing. I saw Maestro do it earlier. Is it just to see what their opponent's starting in tactically?
Could be that, and it also could be that the camera settings or the settings of the controller are not right, because it's a new PS5. Like, obviously they were playing in different PS5s in the players' lounge. Now they're playing on stage, and many times you forget to change to your settings. So it might be that. It happens to me quite a lot, to be honest. But yeah, it might be that. It might be changing his tactics a bit. It might be looking at text formation. But from the looks of it, I think it's the camera settings.
Yeah, well, it was a bit of a deja vu, this one, for Tekkz Gravison, because in 2019, in this exact match, we played against Dr. Nightwatch, a good friend of ours who helps us out a lot here on the broadcast behind the scenes, alongside playing, of course, FIFA eSports for Team Falcons. He's in action next weekend at the Team of the Season Cup. He stopped Tekkz in his tracks back in 2019 from getting to the eChampions League Grand Final. I think that's why there is an added 20 or 30% in the motivation for Tekkz this time round, that he wants to get to the top 8. He wants to get to that last step of being an eChampions League Grand Final. So here comes Ronaldinho. He stings the hands of Edwin van der Sar. Time green finish. Watch out for Ronaldinho. He makes the team over Ruud Gullit. Means that it's a midfield duo of Renato Sanchez and Llorente. It's a big sacrifice to make, but of how good Ronaldinho's been, it justifies that pick, I'd say. Absolutely. Here's Gullit. Back to goal. Roy Feldman's first real chance of the game. And in the end, it will just be saved by Schmeichel. It was a coming together with Kimpembe. And eventually, there'll be a chance just to have a breather.
Yeah, I think what Dr. Nightwatch did to beat Tekkz, he didn't respect him enough, you know? Like, he just went to press on his opponent's half. He went full attack mode. He went with the skills. And I think Roy Feldman needs to do the same. Because if you let Tekkz be comfortable, he's just going to basically get his own rhythm, and you're not going to stop him. So basically, you just have to match his intensity. And I think that's what Feldman is doing right now, with pressuring his opponent's half.
This could be an opportunity now. Ronaldinho whips it in deep, 2 hands on it for Edwin van der Sar. Looking across the teams, they both look pretty similar, to be honest. No one else in their right mind would use anyone else other than Marquinhos and Kimpembe. The only real changes, I'd have to say, is that Roy Feldman doesn't choose to back Llorente. He's gone for Renato Sanchez and
the main
partnership in the 2 midfield areas, and his icon choices are Pele, R9 and Gullit. Building is Mahrez. Of course, keep in mind that a number of these players are those Champions League road to the final items of a few of the English clubs that are in the final 4 of the Champions League. Manchester City, Liverpool players heavily involved in these teams, as you'd expect to see.
I like what I'm seeing from Roy Feldman, like calm build-up, You know, passing the ball between the full backs and the centre backs as long as he needs to, because he cannot afford to make mistakes.
Versus Elastico. Tekkz cooking up a storm in the box. It's a touch to forget about from Pele, and it was also something that looked to be time red.
Yeah, maybe a fake shot, but he didn't cancel it. I don't know, but yeah, mistake from Tekkz.
A big win. Mahrez this time, he's got room to burst into. João Cancelo out of the way. In it goes. Look at the time for Pele. What's a save, Van der Sar. But more importantly, what's a chance for Tekkz to take the lead.
Whoa. It's the second time he has crossed the ball. First one was kind of a random situation. It was pretty much calculated, the second one. And yeah, Van der Sar saved him. But he's making mistakes in the build-up. And you cannot afford to do that against Tekkz because he's going to punish you. Maybe he has missed one chance, but he will not miss the second one.
Sanchez punched into the feet of Pele. Building again, Mahrez has been influential out on this left-hand side. Done enough to push out Mane from this team. Back to goal, Pele. Can he find the ball into R9? Little Elastico might have a second bite at the cherry. Will the Brazilian? Down to ground he goes. Referee says he won the ball fair and square. And Roy Feldman survives another attack. If he can keep surviving these attacks, Gravesen, it's going to build him up some confidence to say, you know what, I can tame the beast in many ways.
Yeah, I can defend those 1v1 situations. Obviously, if you find yourself in a 1v1 situation against Tekkz 2 or 3 times and you defend it well, obviously it's going to hype you up a bit. But you cannot let Tekkz get into that situation because eventually he's going to break you down.
Yeah, there's only so many times you can knock on the door without getting an answer, then burst your way through. As Tekkz will have to do. Here's Feldman, it's R9, he went for the double tap, cutback pass, it's still an absolute shambles at the back. Schmeichel, he might have been a hero for Tekkz in the group stages, but in the first 45 minutes here, Gravesen, he's been a little bit shaky, hasn't he, the Danish goalkeeper?
Yeah, it's the second time he has fallen to the floor, but yeah, I mean, I think Tekkz is comfortable at the moment. He has reached his opponent's box like 2 or 3 times. I don't think Feldman is comfortable because the second man press of Tekkz is really high in his opponent's half, so you get uncomfortable in that situation when you're building up from the back. But I think Tekkz is obviously switching. He's really good at player switching inside the box. I think if next time Roy Feldman, instead of finding the extra pass, he shoots the ball directly, I think he's scoring the first goal.
Interesting to see as well who's sitting behind Roy Feldman. It's NOM teammate and a player that also qualified for next week's Team of the Season Cup alongside Yuval Belli, who's also in this tournament playing. One of the most recent up-and-coming wonder kids in Israel. Looking to guide sort of the team captain of NOM Esports, who is so close towards creating history for himself. He'll be the first ever Israeli and FIFA player to qualify for the Champions League final, and in some regards people would argue that it's been a long time coming for Israel Gravesen. They have been developing, qualifying, finishing in tournaments, did a lot last year in the online era.
Yeah, obviously this is a good chance.
Building Mahrez, still for Tekkz. Couple of ball rolls, got a lot of confidence there with the Algerian. Little heel to Marcus Llorente, punched into the feet of Ronaldinho. Oh, see you later, he says. Elastico's little cancel. Elastico again, building, cooking up the perfect attack. Is Ronaldinho now for Tekkz. Somehow in possession, and eventually there is a body in the way. That time Marquinhos just as enough to save Feldman.
Yeah, I think these last few years of online FIFA have built the confidence of Israeli players a lot, you know? Because you find yourself playing against the best European players and beating them consistently. It gives you confidence for when you reach this stage, you're gonna be able to, you know, have that mindset that you can beat them. And that's what I think has happened for the last few years. Neistat last year was incredible. I think he finished like top 5 or top 4 of his region.
He's getting top 8 finishes, wasn't he, in Europe?
Yeah, he was.
Again and again, we saw, you know, Yuval Belli come into that conversation a few times. Yes, he might be in a lower bracket here in the Champions League, but regardless, there's talent coming through. And I know for a fact that Tekkz has had a couple of games against Feldman in the Nations with the Lions England squad, and They've always given England a really hard time in their matches. They've drawn, they've beat them. Of course, England have picked up a few wins alongside them as well. Thomas Lees there, his team, I'm sure, will be supporting Tekkz from a distance. Here comes Feldman now, first real sniff at goal. It's a poor pass from R9, recovers it well. What a save, Schmeichel! That is one way to pull yourself out of a hole that you provided in the first 45 minutes. What a save, and what build-up play that is from Feldman.
That was a clear chance. Here another one.
Because that looked gone. The chance looked completely gone. It looked like he overplayed it ever so slightly. What a save.
Whoa. I mean, that gives confidence to Roy Feldman. Like, he can beat Tekkz if he keeps playing like that. So, I mean, Tekkz celebrated that almost like a goal. Because it's obviously so important, but...
Building. Just offside, Ronaldinho. I mean, there's two ways to look at this now, Gravison. Give me your input on it. 70 minutes played here. He's thinking, I've survived 70 minutes of pressure from Tekkz. Yes, Roy's created the odd chance or two, but no doubt it's mainly been Tekkz in the driving seat.
Yeah, but I think if you're Roy Feldman, you've defended the 1v1 situations, like in the tactical side of it, you're doing good. Next time, maybe if you, instead of doing an extra pass, if you reverse elastico it might work for you, because obviously Tekkz is going to expect the extra pass next time you're inside the box. But I think he's playing a really good game of FIFA right now, Feldman.
A chance for a bit of revenge in this one, actually, as well for Tekkz, because it was Diogo Mendes, teammate of FNATIC Tekkz, who actually got knocked out by Feldman in the previous round. Believe it or not, it was a penalty shootout win for Feldman against Andoni, fellow Spaniard player you know very well, Gravison.
Yep.
In the first opening game here with the eChampions League. Last 15 minutes to play here. There is another pause that's been queued. Last few final changes. Pele, did he need the pass that far out? Sanchez and Hullet will interchange. Well, back to goal falls for Pele. Feldman tries his best to squeeze it into the path of R9. It all became a bit too obvious there.
Yeah, I don't want to be repetitive, but I mean, if he skills inside the box into a shot, he's going to score. Simple as that. Because he's creating the angles. And he's creating good plays with the build-up.
Nice build-up here from Tekkz. Pele this time. Be careful, Ronaldinho just offside. Llorente, back to goal, it's R9. Tekkz looking for the first real chance. Massive tackle, Marquinhos gets a toe on the ball. And again, he's matched him up, another 1v1 scenario. Feldman's just about come out on top. Press again from Tekkz, relentless, as he looks to bag a goal late on in this first leg here. This is the game that will qualify for the eChampions League Grand Final. Mahrez, back to Llorente, waiting for the perfect chance to strike Ronaldinho, who's been the star of the show for Tekkz, moving, grooving in the box, trying his best. It's another big win from Andy Robertson.
That's really nice defending from Roy Feldman. I mean, you know how hard it is for Tekkz to get to the box, like, I don't know, 8-9 times, and defending every single one of them. That's the hardest thing you can do in FIFA, and he's been doing it every single time. And you saw Tekkz obviously pressuring high before, but now he's kind of dropping a little bit because he sees like an opponent in Feldman. So I think Feldman has gained enough respect for him to you know, take some risks on the attack side of it and maybe score a goal.
It looks like he's going to leave this first leg without suffering any sort of blow either players, as that's going to do us for the first leg here. Gravison in the round 3 winner.
Having fun playing FIFA, and that's what we want to see every single time.
It'd be fitting, Gravison, wouldn't it? It'd be really fitting for Roy Feldman to be the player to do so, because he was the player that really started this next generation of Israeli and FIFA pros to come through the ranks and to play as well as they have done over the last few seasons, especially on the online era. Sits behind him is the prime example of that in NOM Feldman. Here's Feldman from left to right in that white strip. Tekkz from right to left, as you rightly said, deja vu. Back in 2019, he lost in this very game to Dr. Nightwatch, which stopped him going to Madrid and to the eChampions League Grand Final. Will that change in this one? It's R9 with the first shot of the game, and it's already a better start from Feldman. who's on the front foot within the first 5 minutes. Corner played short, building in well. Mahrez pulls out 2 players towards the back post. Mane just offside.
And if you saw Tekkz defended that play, he was just defending the pass because Feldman passed the ball every single time to the other striker. So this time he white time finessed it, but if he green timed it, it would have been a goal. So I think Feldman is doing the right stuff at the moment. I think he changed it up a bit inside the box, sorry, and I think he has great chances of scoring a goal if he keeps it like this.
Mahrez on the build-up, and it shall go. Headed away, just about. Renato Sanchez comes to collect that one. Marquinhos and Kyle Walker may have a slight coming together. Oh, that could be very risky indeed. This is a golden chance. You have got away with
a mistake.
Quite a big mistake, Andy Robertson. How on earth the body of Ronaldinho, the animation just didn't let him get around the player, did it?
I would be fuming if I was Tekkz.
Nerves certainly are building here. We've had a goalless 100+ in-game minutes now of FIFA. Round 3 of the winners bracket. The game that will send you to the eChampions League Grand Final. The game that would make history. No doubt for both of these 2 players. Joining Predator FIFA of Werder Bremen. The only German, the only player so far that's already booked their ticket into the final 8. That will take place 27th of May. Live here again in Stockholm. Just 4 weeks away.
This is nice from Tekkz. Good build-up.
Llorente, Sanchez, no Hullet in question. Offside trap played badly by Robbie Feldman. He's going to have to pay for that now. And he will. It was only a matter of time for Tekkz after he was just knocking on the door. Couldn't find an answer, was waiting for a mistake. That was the mistake, Gravison.
Yeah, he did a mistake before with the keeper. He was lucky because Robertson could get the ball back, but second mistake in 5 minutes time, and obviously you can't afford to do that against Tekkz. So now you're 1 goal behind, and obviously this is gotta be hard because you know Tekkz didn't do something spectacular. You did a mistake, and you just simply cannot afford to make these mistakes at the biggest stage.
Well, it's as simple as it is with the offside trap, isn't it? It's high risk, high reward. It works out well for you, it's fantastic. If it doesn't, you just see what you saw on your screen. Have the floodgates open now. Ronaldinho onside. Sure, that's given Tekkz all the confidence he needs to extend his goal tally. Ronaldinho still tries his best, goes down to ground. Robertson wins the ball fair and square.
That's great defending from Feldman. Great defending.
But it's obvious where the dangers come from every time with Tekkz, isn't it? It's Ronaldinho, he's being utilised.
Yeah, I remember in the match again between Tekkz and Maestro, Ryan broke it down perfectly. Tekkz breaks the defense, it started on the wings, and obviously if you have Ronaldinho there, it's going to be a lot easier for you.
Especially when he can suck out the fullback like he's just done there. Now it's Kimpembe against Ronaldinho in a 1v1, and look at the gaps that have started to appear in the box now. Ronaldinho, Pele, all queuing up for a touch on the ball. Might not work out that time, but you can see where the intent is every time. He's just doing enough to suck out João Cancelo, or Kyle Walker, sorry. Mahrez this time. Stopped in his tracks by the one of 2 Parisian defenders. Marquinhos that time.
I think Tekkz is starting to get in his rhythm, and that's a big problem for Feldman. Because once he does that, it's just simply, he doesn't stop.
Mane. Oh, 9 in the air. Marquinhos has just come to the rescue. You're absolutely right. If Tekkz starts to get into that groove, Gravison, it's going to be so difficult to try and stop him. You have to, when you play against the likes of a Tekkz or a big game player, you have to simply take the game to them and you have to score first. Anything you can do to unsettle them.
Yeah, probably anything. Just anything to break down his rhythm. Because when he finds that, he's just getting to this position every single time.
You can skip out the fullback, which he's just done there again with Walker. That's where you open up all sorts of problems.
Yeah.
One ball over the top should be easily dealt with by Kimpembe. It will be. Possession given back to Robbie Feldman. 40 minutes on the clock. It's not been 40 minutes to remember so far. Remember, a loss here won't send you out of the tournament, it'll just put you down in the loser bracket. Pull it. Back to Renato Sanchez. Maybe looking to build for the last chance of the first half in this second leg. Pele finds R9, fake shot, bit of space for Mane. R9, it's in the air, just couldn't get the ball down, could he? It was fizzed into his feet from Sadio Mane. And that should take us into half-time, unless there's one more chance. Which if it does, it'll fall to the hands of Tekkz. Nicely done. Mahrez, twinkle toes, back to R9. Didn't quite get what he was looking for there, was it?
Oh, that was a good chance. Maybe if he shot to the back post, it could have been a goal, but obviously you didn't expect for Pele to make that run. But yeah, Tekkz kind of found his rhythm. He is attacking on the wings. I think Feldman is being a bit too aggressive with the fullbacks. So obviously Tekkz is capitalizing on that with the through ball every single time to Ronaldinho. And maybe we're going to see some change in tactics from Feldman, because he's not been comfortable enough in this first half. And it looks like the second goal from Tekkz is closer than the equaliser.
And just on that, it sort of felt like it was always through Ronaldinho, but the last 4 or 5, 10 in-game minutes there, Gravison, a lot more of Mahrez on the ball, a lot more of trying to go the other way round, because I think it became a bit too obvious for a period of time there. But I mean, look no further of how to utilise wingers in a formation like Tekkz is doing, and how good it can be. If you can pull the full-back out, as we've said, get down the byline, you've got to split the centre-backs. The centre-backs have got a decision to make, haven't they?
Yeah, it's kind of a domino. Like when a fullback gets in a bad position, you obviously have to get your centre-back to the wing, and it's just messy for you, because obviously the midfielders are not going down after the past patch. I think it was 2 months ago. I think it's good because the game is more offensively this way. Yeah, it's just basically that. You have to break down the wings every single time, and Tekkz is doing that perfectly.
Well, 45 minutes away. Tekkz is currently away from the eChampions League Grand Final. Joining Predator FIFA as the first 2 qualified players in that competition. And guess what's after this one? Nicholas 99 FC against Matthias Bonanno, the battle of the only 2 Argentines in this tournament. What a game of FIFA that is going to be.
I'm really looking forward to that game, because you've seen Nicolas, probably the best player of FIFA history in South America, and you see Matthias Bonanno, player who completely demolished the scene last year. So what's gonna prevail? The player who dominated the scene for the last 3 years, or the online player who's obviously been just demolishing the scene for the last, I don't know, 12 to 14 months? So I just don't know what's going to prevail. I think it's going to be a beautiful match, and I think we're going to see a lot of fans from South America.
Yeah, we'll also see the only Spanish player, Gravison, in the final. 8 here, ball towards the back post for Roy Feldman again. Defensively sound by Tekkz. Corner play quickly, Mahrez picks up the ball well. Mahrez towards the back post, timed it green. What a save! Schmeichel again, the hero for Tekkz. But better from Rowe, really good chance. He did everything right, literally.
He did. The speed boost was amazing. The cross to the back was amazing as well. He green timed, shot it, and wow, what a save from Schmeichel, the second one. And I thought Van der Sar was the best keeper. I don't know about that now.
In the first leg, in the nicest way, didn't look too impressive, did Schmeichel, other than the incredible save he did make. But he has come to save Tekkz, not once but twice in this game so far. Ronaldinho, the danger man, it's all been going through the Brazilian winger. This prime icon moment that fits in this requirement and restrictions in the eChampions League. You are allowed 3 icons outfield. The goalkeeper doesn't count towards the restrictions. And other than that, it's Champions League items only that will feature in these eChampions League final squads. Ball's cued by Roy Feldman. Will he get it? That's a different question. Mahrez does well, takes out João Cancelo.
No.
Tekkz is a big fan of that, by the way. Just a quick word on that, very quickly, Gravison, is that Mane didn't start in this team, which is surprising because he's like the highest rated, Champions League item there is, road to the final, and he's a big Liverpool fan, if you don't know already from Tekkz. But he's playing Cancelo, yes, his team of the season item. Cancelo's is a left back, but he's playing his right back, road to the final, in and a left back. He's playing Mahrez as a left winger. He doesn't mind falling on players in oppositions. Yes, they've got good weak foot upgrades, I'm sure, along the way, but he's happy to experiment with that. He believes that those players are good enough to play in those different areas of the pitch.
Yeah, and obviously they are playing in 7 chemistry, but it doesn't matter as much because maybe their stats go down a bit, but for 1-2 points. So I agree with Tekkz. Like I think the risk reward is worth it, but not many players do it. Like a lot of players like to play with all their.
There's a little bit of risk, isn't there? There's a little bit of a risk. Say if right now João Cancelo makes a bad pass, you're thinking 7 chem.
Yeah, and that gets inside your mind. But if you trust your team, it won't matter.
Pele back to R9 on the build-up to Mahrez. If he scores one more goal, certainly be on his way to an eChampions League grand final. Llorente, Pele, look at the time, reverse elastic. Oh, Tekkz might just be on his way. A storyline that's unfolding. A player that was 0-2 back in February. Everyone was doubting him. Everyone was questioning if he was back. But he's teased us about Tekkz back on land, being a different sort of breed, a different sort of player. And with 20 minutes left to play, I think we're seeing that player right now, and I can't wait to see what comes away in 4 weeks' time, unless there's more late drama. No, there won't be. Pele off the mark, and that there is the biggest of chances that Feldman's going to get across these 2 legs.
Yeah, we see constant pressure now from Feldman, and I think this could be GG. Because if Tekkz builds up a good play and gets the ball to the wing to Ronaldinho, I think it's going to be the 3rd goal and GG's. But yeah, Tekkz said it before, he's cooking up players, and I mean, you have to agree with him. Like, he's been just so dominant back on land, and I mean, he's been saying it for the last 2 years and a half, and then he reaches this stage, and you just have to agree with him.
Bale on the build-up, back inside for Feldman. Schmeichel off his toes. He owes that man a lot of thanks for his journey to the Champions League. And I think there's just a bigger story behind this, Gravison, as well. Players, by no fault of anyone's, have not had an opportunity to get back to land and to really express themselves. And for a player like Tekkz, who has won so much and wants to be at the top level, you could describe it yourself. It's a different environment playing from home. It's not the same. It's not with the lights, the cameras, the adrenaline boost you've got. And players will cry out for that, an opportunity to do that. This is not just a win, this is a massive mental win as well for Tekkz, to get that confidence boost back. As he rightly said when I was speaking to him before this game, he still believes he is the best player in the world. And why wouldn't he?
Yeah, why wouldn't he? Like, I think when you're playing an online event, you are maybe at your 70-80% because you're comfortable. You are in your comfort zone because you're playing for home. But when you're playing at a LAN event, you're obviously outside of your comfort zone with all you just said, with the stage, with the cameras, with everything. And that's when I think when you're out of your comfort zone, you pick to the 100% level. And I think that's what we're seeing from Tekkz. So, yeah, just basically GG's to him because he's been playing amazing FIFA today.
Well, he's happy to take more time out of this game. As he edges his way forwards, Feldman will drop down to the lower bracket. He's naturally had to press this line forward from Feldman as he's had to put bodies forward to do what he can. But the storyline is this in the nicest way. 89 minutes on the clock. 2019 Gravison, he lost in this very game to Nightwatch that stopped him from getting to the Champions League final. Yes, he won the Champions League Invitational the year after, but he wanted to go the long way around, not via sort of an invite-only tournament. He wanted to go through online qualification into a group stage, which he did in February, 0-2 in Swiss, and now he's come to LAN for the first time in over 1,058 days since we've last seen offline eChampions League tournaments. And he's a minute away. He's a minute away from getting to the Champions League Grand Final. He'll be the only English player that will be there. The whole UK community will be behind him. And I'm sure there'll be a lot of faces out there that'll be smiling to see Tekkz is back at LAN, and Tekkz is on his way to an eChampions League Grand Final.
And yeah, he's basically made history. That's it for Tekkz. You can see the happiness from him. And yeah, Tekkz is finally made it to the top 10, top 8, sorry. And Tekkz is back.